We can create aliases or shortcuts to often used options in our .bashrc file, found in our home folder. In this video, I'll demonstrate a few aliases you can use to make your shell experience a little more productive. So let's open up our .bashrc file now. I'm going to use Vim, but feel free to use whatever other editor you feel comfortable with. So let's go into vim.bashrc, and we'll go right down to the end. I'll just press Shift-G, my shortcut to go to the last line. And now we'll look at the aliases or the lines that I've added to this bashrc file. So we have 5 aliases and 1 shell option or shopt. Now I'll start with the first alias. This one is just basically do an ls listing with T and R, so time reverse. So it's in reverse order of date. So the last file or directory shown in the listing will be the one that was most recently edited. Alias ll, so this is ls -1, so one file or directory per line, and group directories first. And now lla uses the previous alias, so you can make aliases of aliases, so in this case ll -a to show the hidden files in this ll listing. Now I have this alias ssh web1. So I'd like to SSH to this server. Maybe I use this very often. I have a server called web1 that I use SSH to connect to over SSH. But I have to connect to a particular port, in this case 5051, and I have a username to specify and an IP address. And I don't want to have to type this in every time I connect to it. So I create this alias. I just type in SSH web1, all one word, and it does it for me. Now a clean update, so running apt-get update, upgrade, auto remove, and auto clean, having to do this quite frequently, and if I had to type these 4 things in and wait for each one to finish, it would get quite cumbersome. So what we do is we run the first command. The double ampersand means the preceding command, if it finishes successfully, we execute the next command. If it doesn't finish successfully, if update fails for some reason, then it won't proceed. It will stop here and won't go any further. So it just says only do the next command if the previous one was successful. So that's what the double ampersand is. So we can chain commands together. So I just call this clean-update. I run that and it does all the upgrading and cleaning for me. Now this shop or shell option -s cd spell. So cd spell is if you do a cd into a directory and you interchange a couple of letters or you have a small typo, it will autocorrect for you and it will tell you the autocorrection when it does. So let's go back to our shell and run these commands to see how they work. So I'll quit out of Vim. Now the first one was ltr. You'll see here, if you look at the dates, it's all in reverse order. So the newest one is the last one displayed. ll, here it gives me my directories first, followed by the files, and they're all sorted in a typical alphabetical order. Now lla will do the same thing, but include the hidden files. So all the ones with the period or dot that is appended to the files or directories. Now the next one was SSH web1, I believe. Now I don't think I'm on this particular network right now, but it tells me that I am trying to connect to this host and this port, but my connection is refused because I can't see this server on the network at the moment. Now if I go into vim.bashrc again, I'll go to the end, you can see here that connection that was made. And that seems to work fine. And now let's do a clean update. This one will take a little bit longer. Put in my password for the sudo. And it does the update. When it finishes the update, it'll go right into the upgrade. It may not have anything to upgrade right now. I think my system is up to date. Yeah, so there's nothing to find, nothing to clean, nothing to auto remove. And the last one, the shell option, if I do cd documents, it sees that documents was actually uppercase D, Now if I do something like cd.dco, it has to be fairly close. If you get too many typos, it won't pick it up. You'll see here I interchange the S and T at the end. So any really small typos, it's not super intelligent, but it'll catch most of the things you do when you mistype a couple of characters, or you forget to put an uppercase or forget to put a lowercase when it needs an uppercase. So it's quite handy to have, and I like having that cd spell shell option. And that concludes this introduction to creating aliases in your .bashrc file.